Round three of Don Talks. Sorry, I've tried this twice. Hopefully, this will come out better. I'm going to try to keep it shorter, but I want to talk more about the biohacking because I, I want people to understand the health of we the people around the world. The reason why we've got so many conditions, it's a created issue. Some of it's self-induced, but it's created, and it was intentional, I believe. I'm going to say a few things here. I think the doctors, some of them knowingly, and many of them unknowingly, have been being dishonest with their patients for many years. The pharmaceutical companies, exactly the same thing. The Food and Drug Administration, especially the Food and Drug Administration, the same thing. Many in our educational system, the same thing. And many in the religious part of our society, same thing. It all comes back to the dollar, the almighty dollar. We're not a value, we're a commodity that they can take advantage of and make a profit off of. And they, Food and Drug Administration, pharmaceutical, the medical society, the government, and many of the higher ups in the Catholic Church, some of the other Baptists, Protestants, some of them are all, they're not in it for mostly the best reason, to help others. And here I'm going to show you, you can see that most of them are shaking each other's hands. You could separate the church if you want to, because it's a little bit harder to catch, but if you just stick with the Catholic, yeah, it's a little bit easier to show then, when they cover for their altar boys, preachers that don't do no harm, doctors that no longer have to worry about doing any harm. You can't sue because, when the accidents and oops, my bad happen so often, they have to protect themselves instead of trying to make sure they're protecting the patients. We've done away with too many insane asylums because half the people that should be in insane asylums are now running our country. All right, I got to back up. I'm going to start on the female side. The female side, what we've done to them, biohacking again, was psychological. Girls don't need makeup to be beautiful. Beauty, God created it. Beauty is in this bamboo behind me. It's the green grasses that's growing. It's the flowers. It's everything. Some men like heavy women, big boned women. Some men like skinny women. Some men like whatever. Women are the same way. So if we put that to the side, what's the issue? Well, we've got so many magazines, so many TV shows that push one thing, and it's appearance. It's appearance over character, content of character. Truthfulness, honestness, caring, loving. You go to a store. Why are there, just like bread, there's a whole aisle of 100 different types of bread, and then you've got bagels, and then you've got hot dog buns, and you've got all these things. We're talking where 20 years ago you get maybe 3 types of buns because there's only 3 or 4 places that made them, that sold them in a vast amount where it could go nationwide or regionally wide. But now, I mean, that what covers with just bread alone would have taken up half of a grocery store 20 years ago, 30 years ago, maybe a little longer than that, but you get my point. And it's the same thing with makeup. I call it camouflage. You see these people that are they're cosplayers and they can make themselves look like anybody. It's because so many people don't even know what they look like anymore. And it started at such a young age. God made us to look how we look. You don't have to run from yourself. Be a better yourself. So that's the psychological part. Um, with men, it's, muscles, whatever, a big kick sand in the face and all that other crap. That's, again, all psychological. Stay healthy. Get healthy. That's the key. We're living less length of time now than we did in biblical times by hundreds of years. But supposedly we have a higher quality food, we have better education, we have better medicine than ever before in history. It's all, my opinion, lies, distraction, distortion, bending of the truth. I believe that the minimum amount of food we need by the chart, you can go online and you go your age, your height, and all this other stuff. And it'll tell you what they consider obese, what's normal, and all this other stuff, and what the base you need to maintain. I would almost bet that the base you need to maintain is too high. Because everybody wants to make money off us. Everybody. It shouldn't be. When we bartered, it was so much better. You're not going to go someplace you don't need something. And you care about what you're getting. And you care about what you're giving. So blood conditions, arthritic conditions, skin conditions, cancer conditions, liver conditions, thyroid conditions, pancreas conditions, the majority of those all can be handled through fasting. Don't be scared by that word. Do some research. It's biblical. And there's a huge amount of information on how long fasting's been done. The ketogenic diet, if you have seizures and you haven't looked into the ketogenic diet, you're doing yourself a disservice. Matter of fact, if you're diabetic, if you're obese, by your own thought process, if you believe you're heavier than you should be, you're not getting enough wind when you walk because your lungs are being compressed by the excess weight you carry. So in excess fat, we store toxins. That should help. So you can't. And the other thing about women needing to wear makeup and stuff, well, your biggest elimination channel is your skin. So when you coat your face, your hands and stuff, you can't eliminate. You can't breathe. Some of the stuff we use for our armpits is terrible. It hurts the lymphatic system by a lot. But the almighty dollar is pretty important today. So in Mark 9, I believe they talked about a woman that had a bleeding issue. I think she had it for 12 years. She touched the cloak of Jesus and was healed. Well, everything starts with faith. Everything. But it's where you put your faith. I've had 5 back surgeries. I've been wheelchair bound. I've been to where I couldn't walk. I spent time where if I walked without a cane, I'd just fall forward. Like I said, I've been given a year to live by multiple doctors. There comes a point when you realize they don't want to invest the time, the actual time. Now, I'm not saying they won't. They won't say, I want you to come in twice a year and we'll check up on you. I want to see how you do on this medication. Because every time you walk in their office, it's a payday for them. And if they can have 100 people a day, that's a lot of paydays. And there comes a point in time you got to put faith in yourself. And there's no reason not to. There's so much information on the internet. Start researching. Research fasting. Research water fasting. Research juice fasting. Even if you don't like juice, if you don't like vegetables, if you don't like fruits, it doesn't matter. If your health's important to you, find a way. I don't eat fruits. I don't eat vegetables. I do on occasion have some. I like the flavors of some. But I did a 30-day juice fast. And the way I hit it all, so it was palatable drinking it, was with apples. Apples covers up everything. It's amazing. I'm more of a carnivore. Keto carnivore. I like my bread. I like potatoes, but I've cut way back on all that. For mostly, I don't hardly eat any of it. I love the flavor of meat, so hey, that worked for me. But you got to find what works for you and actually implement it. But if you're putting filthy things into your body, chemicals that don't allow your body to do its job, if you're taking diabetes medicine, blood pressure medicine that doesn't allow your body to do its job, slows your metabolism, causes you to add weight, you can't expect yourself to get better when you're also causing the issues. The best way to do it, I'm not a doctor. I have studied a lot, and I'll debate most doctors over any issue. You have to monitor yourself, so you need a good blood pressure cuff. You want to make sure that you're peeing enough. If you're drinking a lot of water, as you should be, not flavored water, but water, then you monitor and make sure you're peeing. Dehydration causes 1,000 different symptoms, and most people are dehydrated. Some people can drink a lot of water, but they also drink soda pop. They take the wrong kind of sodium. They eat so much bread. They eat things that basically make a swimming pool a drought area. You turn your body in dehydrated while you're trying to flood it, but it can't absorb it, so it's doing it no good. Your cells need that water. And flushing the system takes water. So you can get your blood to be better. That it can produce better cells, and it can start repairing. You leave longer gaps between meals. You don't have to be perfect. Be better. Leave longer gaps between meals. Try to eat just 2 meals. Skip breakfast. Try to eat 2 meals a day. Don't have a bunch of snacks, because I don't care if it's 2 bites of food, your body assumes that's a meal. You can mentally say, oh, it's a snack. No, guess what? Your body has to go right back into breaking down food mode. It doesn't matter what it is. Water, you can drink. It's not food. And it doesn't kick your body into, I need to break this down and rebuild it. Anyways, I've already went over my 10 minutes. I'm going to come back to this later. Make comments. If you got some questions and you want to know, well, what's the best way to start this? What order? Oh, if you've got a condition and you want to ask me about it, I'll do the best I can. And, take what I say for what it is. Some guy on the internet telling you stuff. You have the ability to do all your research. I've got hundreds of books in the house, and I've read all of them on health. And most of the people I've read are still current. They're still top of the line. Jason Fung, True North fasting place in California. I studied under Dr. Bernard Jensen. You can look him up. I got certified under him over 20 years ago. And Dr. I'm just going to leave it there. Anyways, thank you, and I'll pick this up again maybe tomorrow or the next day. Like, share, subscribe, comment, ask a question. I don't really care. I'll do my best to answer it. Thank you so much. God bless.